But I want to take you back to one statement you made, that during the genocide period, many people either were killed and then they lost, and some also left, including the educated elites. Leadership is a process. And I think we all agree that one of the cardinal challenges of our continent is the issue of the 3 pillars you mentioned: transparency, in other words, good governance, and making people the center space and the centerpiece of everything that we talk about, and boosting the morale, the confidence of our people. So my question is, Prof, what process did Rwanda go through? Because here you are, you have a lot of people who were either displaced, some have left because of their participation and everything. How did you start the process? What can Africa learn from that? In other words, for over almost 3 decades now, Rwanda is a star. So how did the few leaders who were left manage to govern everybody, bring everybody on board? What processes did you put in place to ensure that the younger generation, you close the leadership gap and all of that, so that other African leaders, and here we're not only talking about politics, we're talking about business, SMEs. I mean, I've been to Kigali today and I've seen it's flourishing. So the private sector, what within the 3 pillars that you've mentioned, what processes did you did you, if you like, initiate so that other African countries, other private sector institutions in other parts of the continent can also emulate?
Yeah. First of all, if I go back to the immediate aftermath of the genocide, the Rwandese Patriotic Front, which fought, defeated the genocidal government, would have been justified to govern alone this country, because it is almost the natural or universal law that the winner takes all. But the Rwandese Patriotic Front, under the leadership of our president, I would say the extraordinary leadership of our president, Paul Kagame, made a decision of not governing this country alone and invited people from all walks of life and put in place a government of national unity, which was truly, truly representative of the people. It was such that any portion of our people would feel represented in that government. Therefore, would say that there is no way that government I see there would enact policies that would be detrimental to my group. And that developed a confidence and trust in the government. That government was able to convince the internally displaced people. We had more than 40 internally displaced camps. And then also millions of refugees that had gone beyond the borders. They were all repatriated, resettled, and then we embarked on a process of open, frank discussion on our past and our present and what should be our future. We conducted a national dialogue over a period of 11 months. Leadership of this country, from the private sector, the civil society, the government, would meet every Saturday for 11 months from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. discussing what went wrong in our country. And then coming out of this dialogue were all the major strategic orientations that led to Rwanda's transformation. It was from this dialogue that we came up with an approach to justice called Gacaca Code, because the traditional justice would never been able to handle the crime that had been committed here, because it was so huge. How can you investigate 1 million murder and prosecute them? So we came up with an approach, a traditional approach of settling conflicts within Rwanda. It was through that dialogue that we came up with Vision 2020 that set up our priorities for development. It was through this dialogue that we came up with an approach to democratization. We said that confrontational democracy would not be good for a very fragile country like Rwanda. We decided to have a consensual democracy, democracy that put, indeed, the people of Rwanda at the center of everything. So it was through that dialogue, which started at national level and was cascaded down up to the hill, every village, that really we set the fundamentals of this republic of ours. So, of course, what was immediate was to bring back law and order, repatriate people, build peace, reconcile people, build unity. But we also recognize that though peace and security, though unity are very important, are fundamental for the existence of our country, these cannot feed people, these cannot clothe people. So we needed to also enact policies that would facilitate economic growth. We did a bit of privatization. We created an enabling environment for investment, for business. You would recall that when the World Bank was still publishing the doing business indices, Rwanda was ranked number 2 in Africa. All that created conditions for Rwandans themselves to believe in their country and invest in their country, but also foreigners to trust this country and start investing in this country. So those are the processes we put in place that eventually led to the transformation you see in Rwanda today.